Hi everyone, it's DM. I'm back with a new release from the Surprise Creation store on Aliexpress to share with you. And this first die set was designed by Nicole Silhouette. It creates a bow with antlers. So in this set, you do get 3 different size bows, including 3 different sets of antlers to go with them. And these are the bow centers. And then for my bows, I also use this North Pole Party by Queen & Company. Here's an example of the largest one. So the bows do have stitching details, and that is one of the things that makes a die worth buying. And for the antlers, I cut that out using a brown glitter cardstock. I also added a gem to the center. And this bow measures 3 inches across by 2 inches, and that does include the antlers. And then here's an example of the medium-sized one. I think these would be so fun for Christmas crafting. And then I also cut out the medium one in a red glitter cardstock because I thought it'd look very pretty. So the medium one measures 2 1/8 of an inch by 1 7/8 of an inch. And then here's an example of the smallest one. It's so cute. So the small one measures 1 7/8 of an inch by 1 1/4 inch. And then the really nice thing about this design is that so this would be the back of the bow, and then this piece for the antler actually fits onto the bow like this. And I thought that was very smart because you don't have to guess where the antlers will go. They'll always look perfect on your bow. This next set was designed by Sue, and it creates a cactus plant. So you get all these pieces to build your cactus. This is the pot, a decorative piece or label for your pot, and then also included is the smaller version. And then for my next example, I also use these scalloped eyelet nesting dies. So in their shop, they do have the 4 different styles, the oval, rectangle, which I use, circle, as well as square. And then they just released this one, which is the octagon shape. So in this set, you get 11 pieces, whereas the other sets you get up to 13 pieces. And the largest one measures 7 1/4 inches. So it's a really nice shape here. I made a card using papers from Michaels. So I did cut out a large as well as a small cactus, and they do have embossing details as well as on the pot itself. And then for the labels, I cut that out using some glitter paper. I also added a paper flower from Michaels to the top and added a gem to the center. And then these pieces are popped onto foam, and then I also used the octagon piece as a backing piece here. And as you can see, the scalloped eyelet is such a beautiful design. And then for the base of the card, I also used the rectangle set. And then I added this happy birthday sentiment using the banner dies from the Becky store that comes from the mini book memory deck set, which looks like this. And I think these are highly useful and they look so good on projects. So I really like using these. And then on the inside of the card here, I layered it with this octagon piece here with a eyelet edge. And this is another new die set in their store, which I'm going to show you shortly here. But I just also added a sentiment on the inside here, which I just printed off using my computer. So that is the cactus and examples of the scalloped eyelet set. Also new in their shop is this nesting die set with the lace edge. And again, this one is in a octagon shape. So in the set, you get 10 pieces with the largest one measuring 7 1/4 inches. And then this does coordinate with their other lace border dies. So again, they have their typical shapes like the circle, square, oval, as well as rectangle. And I wanted to really showcase what these dies can do because I really think they're amazing. And also there is a sale that is going on today, and it's a 2-day sale. And I saw that they slashed the prices on these by up to 25%. So I thought that was an amazing deal. And it's a great time to take advantage of it. So I wanted to show you this paper pad by Stamperia. It's called Pink Christmas. And I bought this last Christmas because I really wanted to create a mini album with it. So let me show you some of the pieces that I made using those die sets. The paper pad has some cut apart sheets like this one with these images, which you would just fussy cut around using your scissors. But with the dies, what you can do is, for example, with the circular dies here, and this is an example of the lace border one, you're gonna find a die that works perfectly with this size here. So this one works perfectly, and I did cut out some examples to show you. And this is what they look like. So instead of just having a plain circle, you can take your ephemera to the next level. And I have these pieces ready to go to put in a mini album. And then here's another example of some cut apart sheets in the paper pad. So these ones are perfect with these die sets because they are a square shape. And then here's an example that I cut out. And then with this one, for the image, I also layered it onto some gold cardstock before layering it onto the lace border edge one. So I think these add a lot of charm to your projects, and they're so convenient. Here are some examples using the scalloped eyelet circle dies. And then this is an example using the square die. So I have these pieces ready to go in a mini album. I also wanted to refresh your memory that in their store, they also have these nesting die sets with an eyelet edge. So the edge looks like this. And again, they have the 4 typical shapes that they always have: square, rectangle, circle, and oval. Well, in this new release, they also made an octagon shaped one. And in this set, you do get 12 pieces with the largest one measuring 7¼ inches. So it looks like this. And they also have this octagon set here. And in this set, you have some that have an eyelet edge, and then the smaller ones have a double stitched edge. So it creates a stitch line on the inside of the die as well as the outside. And again, in this set, you get 12 pieces with the largest one measuring 7¼ inches. And then they also had this rectangular octagon. So again, 12 pieces. The largest one measures 6 9/16 of an inch by 8 inches. And then this is a combination set as well, with the larger ones having a eyelet edge, and then the smaller ones having a double stitch edge. And I know there's a lot of new nesting die sets in their shop. With this eyelet edge one as well, they have this, with the eyelet edge series, I should say, they also have these smaller sets. So this is the square with the notch edge or notch corner. And in this set, you get 12 pieces. And the largest one measures 6 inches. And then they also have a rectangular one. And in this set, you get 11 pieces with the largest one measuring 5 by 7 inches. So I did make some examples, and so here's an example, well, examples of the ones with the rectangle with the notched corners. So the circles are more closer together on these ones. I think this is easier to see like this. And then inside this card that I showed you earlier, here's an example of one with the corners like this. This is a Slimline card set in which you get 2 different styles. So they both have plain edges, and this one has got rounded corners, and then this one has a notch corner. And then for each of these sets, you do get 6 pieces. And the largest one measures 8 inches by 3.5 inches. And then for slimline cards as well, they also have this double set. So in this set, you get one with a doily edge and then one with the eyelet edge. And then this one does have 6 pieces, and then this one does have 5 pieces. So these are not the mini slimline card sets. These are the regular size slimline dies. This is a nesting tag set in which you get 9 pieces. The largest one measures 6 3/4 inches by 4.5 inches. And you also get these 2 circles to create holes on your tags. And then for my example, I used this cut apart sheet again, in which one of those tags happened to fit really nicely onto these tags. So for my examples, I did cut those tags out, and this is how the first one turned out. So as you can see, it's got a very beautiful shape to the top here. And then it does emboss these pierced details on the edge here. And then I just layered each of the tags with another piece. And then for the hole, I just punched an eyelet into these. And then I attached some seam binding to the top here. So these are really pretty. And here's another example. So these are ready to go into my mini album. Also new is this nesting tag set, which they're calling the classic stitch tags. And in this set, you get 9 pieces. The largest one measures 4 1/8 of an inch by 6.5 inches. Also included are these 2 circles so that you can create holes on your tags. And then this is also new. So these are candy canes in 2 different sizes. You also get one facing left and one facing right. And each of these does come with a backing piece. And this was designed by Craft Eccentricity. I made a tag using the 3rd largest die, and these are quite a nice size. I don't think I have any tags that are quite this large in my stash. So if you're looking for larger tags, I'd recommend these. And they do have stitching details to them. And then for this tag, on this top layer here, I just cut out some white cardstock. And then I used a Christmas embossing folder, which looks like this. It's a Park Lane embossing folder that I got from Joann's, and it's got hollies and berries on it. So I embossed this top layer here. And then this tag does feature the larger candy canes. And I cut the red layer out using some glitter cardstock. I really love how it's got a backing piece. And then in the center here, I also added some hollies and berries, which is a cottage cuts die. And then in the background here, I used the heart leaves from the Becky store, which looks like this. So it's a set that was designed by Nicole Silhouette. And I really love it because it's got such intricate details. So I layered the candy canes on top of that. And then on the top of the tag here, I just added some ribbon and trim. For the ribbon here, I just used some wired ribbon that I got from Joann's. And I really love this one because it's got sparkles in it as well, or glitter. And then I added 2 bell charms here. And then for the center of the bow, I also added a snowflake button in which I just cut off the back. I also tied some twine onto this, and then I used some seam binding as well. And at the bottom here, I put a sentiment using one of the banner dies from the Becky store again, which I'm really loving. So this is an example of one of the tags that I made. And then here's another example of the, one of the smaller tags that I used. And then on this one, I also used the smaller candy canes, and I placed them so that it looks like a heart. And on this one as well, I did use some of the other heart leaves that are available in that set. And I think this is so cute. I also added this Joy Sentiment, which is a Tim Holtz die. I did layer it with some foam board just to make it pop a little. And at the top here, I have the same thing happening with the twine and ribbon. So this is a really useful tag set here, and the candy canes are really nice. I really like how they're offering a set that has one facing left and one facing right as well. One of the die sets that I was not able to get to yet is this mitten set, and the mittens do have stitching details around the edge. You get this layering piece for the cuff here, and it's got snowflake details. In addition, you also get this larger snowflake, and this is a really nice size. So this measures 4 3/4 of an inch by 3.5 inches. And then they also have this stove set. So you get these pieces to decorate the stove, you get the word recipe, and this measures 5 1/8 of an inch by 3.5 inches. So here's a quick recap of some of the new dies that are now available in the Surprise Creation store. We have the cactus set, the many new nesting die sets, the candy cane set, the classic stitch tags, the fancy tags, as well as the antler bows. And I'm going to be putting a link to everything in the description box below. I thank you so much for sticking with me until the end here. And I wanted to thank the Surprise Creation store for sending me all these dies. And I just wanted to remind you that there is a huge sale going on right now, and this would be a really great time to take advantage of that. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.